Hi everyone. Yeah, it's a new type of video setup. I hired a stand for a day. It's 100 rand. Check out Tulo Munyake. He does camera work. He was Today I collected the phone stand from him at Ministry of Health. Quite a different sight, honestly. It's good to see that the brother's still pushing. Um, I I met him through my hustles, man. I don't know how to explain it, but we've grown to be quite cool with each other. Um, very very cool guy. Very proud of him. He's a chief. I mean, got a king spirit. Yeah, and then he's someone I've looked up to since I was in Belcom. He used to be a singer for MIP, MIP. Yeah, MIP. Um, Music in progress, something like that. Yeah, somewhat. I'm quite. Yeah, he's a dope gent. Anyway, I was listening to 5 signs of knowing if the universe is trying to tell you something or something like that, and it got me thinking. Hey, so basically, what it said to me was visualize your life, right? Visualize all the things that have happened in your life, and then step out of that, and then have a whole panoramic view of everything that has happened in your life. And then, with all those events, pick a lesson or pick something you learned from all those situations, and then allow them to mold you into being the person you are today. And that's essentially it came back to this. Honestly, came back to me being in front of a camera. It came back to me being a teacher. I've always somewhat gravitated to people who don't really want to go into the mainstream way of thinking. Mainstream being, I'm a rapper. I'm trying to um, I somewhat attract people who want to do something with their lives, not just follow whatever the system or the status quo is suggesting. I always have friends who venture into weird endeavors, things that someone wouldn't understand. I always have people who are hard to relate, but somewhat relate with everyone in their own special kind of way. So this was me thinking and allowing myself to be in that state of mind. Today I went to a church. I don't know if it's a church. I don't know if it's an office, but I met the Archbishop Gerald Tladi Lerotori. He's on the pictures. I googled him. Well, obviously I have to do my homework. I googled him on the way there. Took out my phone, started scrolling Google, read a few things about him. He's 70 years old. He's been working as an archbishop, I guess, and he has an office. And somewhat I had to not interview him, but allow him to say his speech and also or take yeah, jot it into a camera or audio or whatever. And in our conversations, he's very light. Someone who is light, he's spiritual, he's well balanced, mind, soul, body, everything aligned. And then he says, nah, he wants to go change into something that will look good in front of the camera. And that's the thing. I've always tried to look so good in front of the camera that I forget the content that of which I'm trying to say to people. And yeah, so he went to change, came out looking dignified, looking good, looking, like a well respected human being in our society. And yeah, we took a picture and took a video, and then I told him about my company that I started with my dad called Outbound, and he was like, "Oh wow, Outbound," and I'm like, "Yeah, and guess what? The slogan is see it through." So this see it through was um, seemed to have opened a quote for him to say to me. I haven't took a video. I'm thinking of adding it to my ending, but anyway, um, took a video, and he was basically saying, "Don't give up, persist, and everything will work out." That's pretty much the saying, but in Sesotho, well, you can't really translate Sesotho, but that's pretty much what I got from that. And he said, "Yeah, man, just keep keep working on it, and make sure you see it through." And this is where it came to where I started this new hobby of recording videos. Because what I understood or took note of is that everyone has that thing in my family. Like, we have runners, we have people who gym, we have people who do business, we have people who genuinely enjoy just hosting and taking care of people. And I was like, what is my niche? What is something that I like doing but people don't understand that I do like doing? I like talking, but I like talking about things that I like talking about. So it could be my nature of being alone, it could be my nature of being surrounded by people who also listen to me, and listen in a way that appeals to them spiritually. Because there are type of spiritual beings, and there are people who just don't really hear you because you're just talking, and making a noise and talking about this high power stuff. But yeah, I always somewhat attract those type of people, and I guess this is my port of entry to more people who gravitate to people like me. It's not always the winners of life, it's the type of people who go through the most hardest, the most painfulest, the weirdest things, and you somewhat need someone who can um, explain to you what's going on, explain to you how to find peace, love, and joy in any moment you could have experienced. You could take someone got robbed of a phone, that could actually be a good thing. Sometimes just because you don't have a phone doesn't mean your life is over. It could be the beginning of your life, literally. Um, Sometimes losing a job could be a good thing. Sometimes not having a job could be a good thing, because now it gives you time to learn yourself, to understand yourself, to allow yourself to think and know what you want exactly. Some people don't get the privilege of um, that, because when you don't know what to do, you end up doing what everyone else is doing. But when you have the privilege of staying home, when you have the privilege of being surrounded by people who are able to do for themselves, you also have the chance to find your type of ground and be able to also find yourself. So that's the beauty of privilege. But you do get situations where someone doesn't really know what to do, and you it's painful to suggest them to stay back and relax and focus on literally themselves, because it somewhat happens that people who don't know what to do always have the world assign them tasks, and you don't really get time for yourself to find yourself, to jot down, to pray, maybe, because sometimes even in speech you get to tell or speak it out into the universe what is deep inside your heart. I always find it very difficult to tell the truth about my problems. Like, my problems, as in, I have a problem with women. Like, now that I'm in business, I see how easy it is falling for a lot of women at the same time, and not knowing how to navigate, because it somewhat happens that you have gained your wisdom, your charisma, your favor. People see you as their potential in anything, and you somewhat have to be responsible with that power. And I fall in that circle of not knowing um, how to limit my interactions with people, and it hurts. But then again, I'm like, maybe this is the will of God, but then I'm like, I'm not God. So it's a very scary thing, and I wouldn't want it to lead me astray into the 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 world I'm trying to create for myself and my family. So somewhat part of me is happy that God gives you a second chance in anything, like literally in anything. It could be, I was thinking of sleeping with this girl, or I was thinking of making on this girl, but there's always that opportunity, that split second that tells you, nah, bro, like listen to your angel side, bro. Like, the red side is the red side, but like this guy will always give you like a minute or two to think about what you're about to do. And that is where I'm appreciating and somewhat praying that I continue understanding that I do have a bad and a good side. I don't know which side. I'll assign the side, but maybe my good side, Yeah, it'll be my good side. I don't know what's my good side. But yeah, pretty much I have people I follow who appeal to my type of thinking, my content. Penwell, you have Penwell, the Black Pen. I was listening to him the whole time about financial management and um, buying or renting. And I'm a renter. I'm renting an apartment, but I somewhat can't get a way of making money to keep up with that apartment. But I think I don't worry. I try and tell myself that I'm not worried about the rent, but somehow I keep paying the rent. So I don't know, is it a God thing? Is it a godly thing? Is it a favor thing? Is it a privilege? I don't know how to explain it, but yeah. I don't know, the beauty of also wishing you could do more for people around you and realizing you can only do so much. It's painful, but also real. Like, we as people would want to be victims in our circumstances, but like that's not the case. Like, it's not the case. The world doesn't give you so the world I don't even want to say the world, man. You as a person have opportunities every day to show up, and you are given opportunities to show up in all ways, in all shapes, in all forms, and you don't know what's the right choice with, like, for example, I'll give you an example of, I wanted to be early for my speech recording, but there was a mishap with the whole phone stand. I was given the wrong thing. I was given a light reflector instead of a stand. And I walked a whole, probably a kilometer that way. And then he calls me and he's like, hey, bro, And I'm like, damn. But then I'm like, might be late. But then again, I'm like, everything is in God's timing. So let me just walk back, connect this thing, walk, and I'll be fine. And weirdly, I got there 10, 20 past, not even, no, quarter past. And he was already in a meeting with someone from maybe the council of Bibles or something, like Bible study. And yeah, man, he was like, good vibes, everything, everyone is, pushing something. And I was so happy for myself that even though I was late, I was somewhat early because I got to think, I got to read, I got to experience, got to think. Um, and in moments like that, I'm appreciative of anything that's happening around me, man. I thought I had lost literally everything about me, but speaking my mind and directing. Imagine I'm directing an old man, 70-year-old, on what to do. I literally had to prep myself. Okay, I'm gonna be talking to a 70-year-old, so I have to be audible. I have to be expressive. I have to be, myself. Um, yeah, and it gave me so much power. Made me realize or think deep about myself and the type of people I want around me and the type of people I want to inspire around me. And it made me think how the world doesn't give light to people who live in the dark, live in the dark, as I mean, I'm always alone, I'm always thinking my thoughts. Sometimes I want to just take note of what I'm saying, but I'm too busy, so I'm in my world. But this allows me to speak my mind, and people get to listen to me instead of just listening to my thoughts through Twitter, through Facebook, through whatever. And this is my form of therapy, I would say. I like talking, but Yeah, anyway, this is my introduction video to a world of possibilities, a world of fun, a world of, continuity, interesting interactions with different people, um, interesting motivations for the kids. I have a little brother. He seems to be very much stuck in his device, and I'm trying to explain to him how important it is to expand your reach. Um, tr- Trees are a good example of expanding your reach. If I put a tree in a small um, pocket of soil, it can only grow so much because the roots don't go further down. So there's nothing to cement the tree to. The roots just literally rotate and end up suffocating the plant. That's why it doesn't grow. But if I put the tree in a bigger environment, the roots literally spread and allow the tree to grow up because it's more rooted in the soil. So human beings are like trees. Um, if you go deeper in something, it could be philosophical, it could be religious, it could be practicing your gift, recording, singing, designing, numbers. Numbers, man. People are gifted out there. I'm a numbers guy, but I prefer numbers in my mind, and I hardly write down. But I'm well invested. I'm always teaching people how to manage their numbers. Maybe that's why I can afford stuff. So that's the beauty, man. Being rooted, find something that gives you purpose every day. Wake up to something that allows you to take on life as best as you can. And that's pretty much what I've been surviving on. Finding something that gives me continuity, drive, peace, love, joy, happiness. All the umbrella words of love. And yeah, man, spreading love, spreading smiles, spreading myself. you know it's lovely to watch and see or understand the beauty of speaking about spiritual enlightenment, and not being able to share that with your close ones is painful, man. I don't know how to explain it, but I wish we could have like a conference of family. I'm always trying to explain to people that the Nkhasi and the Bafokeng are great people, and I guess I have to elect myself the king of them. The king in such a way that I guide my people on what to do. I teach them the ways of life. I show them my world so that they understand the type of people they are. I I don't want to say I sugarcoat, but like I glaze my 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 life bun so that everyone would want to eat. You know, I don't know if I'm making sense, but yeah, man, it's just words. I'm a word artist. Word artist. Yeah, I motivate people. I love people. I love musicians. I love my art. I love my designs. I love my food. Life is food, man. I love water. I love my peace, and I don't even want to allow anyone to take that away from me. But yeah, I don't think anyone can at this point. So thank you for tuning in. I love you all. Have yourself a wonderful life. Have yourself a wonderful life. Keep sharing love, peace, joy, and happiness to everyone you meet in your life. And thank God for this beautiful opportunity. Shout out. Thank you. Goodbye.